LGD's turn to battle. Alliance's turn to pick.
И смотри, у вас начинаются разные ребята. LGD-Gaming, и ничего. Это чем тоже медведь, и также остается Винчарда с условной корреляцией жизни. Вообще, возможно ли это, возможно ли называть мастер, бедный либо настолько не бояться ничего LGD. Когда ты подписываешься на подобные вещи, ты должен понимать, что ты обрабатываешь эту информацию, и как ты не можешь связку а-ля дискурса я тоже часто слышал эту теорию, приветствую с героем у нас в Алисе. В онлайне это юзалось неоднократно. Считал я, что лично сидишь и того не сделал так поэтично. По его мнению, и да, достаточно хорошо. Опять же, риск дается не столько скорость атаки, что это делает лимитная атаки. И ты если один что пробивается и читал, что-то можно напрыгивать, и ему нет любого связи с риском. Он просто тянет к себе сам. Это вот как писать. Его надо было играть подводка, антимаг, что-то такое. Главное, не риск найти, не сохранить дистанцию. И герои, которые могут ехать. Связаны с
Alliances turn to
И сейчас как раз вторая стадия очень любопытно, как опять по альянс и без прямого героя. Сейчас и тем не менее, не хотят вообще отдавать его героя, его просто не любят на турнире. И отсутствует сталкер и эперспирит. Сталкер обычно валится по нескольким параметрам, которые, если я ошибаюсь, это либо если у вас совсем тонкий спорт, то он может сделать. Либо если вы собираетесь неплохо инициировать, он может вам помешать открываться и так далее. Но стратегически
Pack.
Грецик уже неоднократно других сказал, что
Alliances
его
turn to
быстрее
pick.
стоит бороться и бояться. Я сам этого сделаю правильно. И смотрите, что за герой у нас есть. У нас появляется пак вместе с Дестрой. Очень скандал пак. Ну, или другая. Тоже вариант, а его соло, и пойти бывает. И на вражеский лес. Да, вариант, но даже не изи.
10 seconds remaining.
Там не заинтересован. Да, то есть именно то, что они, ну,
5
возможно, будет сейчас
seconds
играть
remaining.
с Бесполком, надо было, ну и совсем ничего поставить.
Reserve
Да, но если
time.
вдруг отправиться с Лудиком далеко и драться, то, по идее, керри должен быть не совсем красивый, какая-то там игра условная, вот, генерал, какие-то слаг, например, я считаю, что будет хит
Crystal Maiden.
это совсем не тебе, наверное,
LGD's turn to
мне
pick.
не нравится цель вся. Да, на матче, да, на старте. То есть там уже есть два сайта, то есть это не первый, а второй. Да, и понятно, даже если она не взяет полную надо, и просто так все забудут. Она секундами подсосалась со всех и стоит. И
10 seconds remaining.
слишком большое влияние.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Если ты знаешь гриба, героя, который решает, если на раз гриба подставил, и дальше. Ну да, у тебя больше красной нет, сам даже если есть, у чистящих не самое это может долго раз по 2 дня. ЦФ больше не хорошо. Так, я думаю, последнее пару поставил линию, я окончательно, может, можно более смело обсуждать.
Alliances turn to pick.
Хороший. Обратите внимание, 4 живых велика нарисовалось гигов. Такая же. Ну, дорога, кстати, я не могу сказать, что она маловероятная, мне кажется, она вероятная. Значит, я рисовал просто все регионы, там пару стрел, и
10 seconds remaining.
пару стрел, перестали круглый стоять с этими оба героя.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. LGD's turn to battle.
Опять же, если сейчас Щелкунов, внутри уже ставит, чем один ставит сидит, да, и лишний такого да, поиграть, например, ставить еще два за всех. А когда у вас
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Alliances turn to battle.
Лишь считать, что еще и Джиггернаут. Меня не завалили, наверное, я думаю, что такого тоже перегревать.
10 seconds remaining.
Это выглядит как будто
LGD's turn to pick.
И там, короче, это 16. Нет, я немножко, да, немножко сказал, все-таки может Тайгер прыгать, верстить множество героев LGD, что Энчантрес, что Маг, что Леон,
10 seconds remaining.
если это вдруг получится, тогда он будет
5 seconds remaining.
его...
turn to pick.
Они решили не рисковать, они добрали очень сильно модель. И, в принципе, им будет очень гармонично. Слегка такой герой, который достаточно толстый, несмотря на то, что это герой. Тонкий герой, 4 тонких героя, спектра, в принципе, дополнительно. Мне кажется, есть один момент, который также герои, большинство очень сильно зависит от артефакта.
5 seconds remaining.
Его, в принципе, дестройка, там, условно, его лава надо с ним разбираться. И спектра, если где-то немножко стопорится, остальным уже будет тяжело справляться с такими мощными героями, с властями, и механизмы, что появится. Они на ImbaTV его посещают, наверное, это другое можно представить, и это сильно простило им задание. Вещи и опять же, говорю, не может.
Well, we've already seen 2 excellent games, and no doubt about it, we're going to have a third one coming up next. And I really love the draft on both sides. We're going to see a unique look one way or the other out of LGD with the puck and the Death Prophet both on the field at the same time. We'll have to see what exactly they want to try to accomplish with that. And also having 2, potentially 3 excellent heroes to synergize with the IO if your alliance, the Beastmaster, the Tiny, and the Chaos Knight.
I'm having TI3 flashbacks. I still remember that grand finals where IO was given away every game and IO won every game. So we'll see. I mean, IO has definitely not been that successful in this patch. The hero's been changed a lot. It's not as strong, but they kicked their asses with the IO was given away. I'm curious to see if LGD have a solution for it. Historically, it's been a hero that Alliance just used better than anyone else. It's been a secret weapon against the Chinese teams. Times have changed. MMY in his own right plays a fantastic IO, though LGD have not been utilizing it. Perhaps down the road we will see it, but not for this game, Aaron. It's going to be just really some iconic heroes, but on slightly different players. Like the S4 Tiny mid, you're much more used to seeing this being in Loda's hands.
Right.
Also going for the CK for Loda, had a lot of success with it earlier, so should be interesting to see how it works out.
Well, looks like we're not going to have a whole lot going on, and both teams groups up. Look like they maybe wanted to poke and prod across. Back to the Chaos Knight, we talked briefly about this earlier. A hero I genuinely believe is a much stronger than he's being given credit for, especially whenever you talk about how effective he is with the Crystal Maiden, not just because of the R regen, but because of being able to combo up with Frostbite, with Nova, and so on and so on. Alliance is going to have a lot of tools to bring to bear to really pour on the pressure, and we'll see if they're going to be up to the task. Maybe waiting to grab the bounty at top, and he'll get that one, and down at bottom, S4 happy to take the other. So let's take a look across the map and see who's handling who. Alliance going to have S4 in mid, as you had mentioned. Going to be Ake on our Crystal Maiden, currently helping block the creeps there in mid. Loda farming the CK. EGM back on this IO, so another game for Admiral Bulldog on the Beastmaster on the off lane as well. Other side of the river, it's going to be Zhao 8 going back to the off lane. This time he's going to be handling the puck, so it will be maybe going mid on the Death Prophet. It's going to be September playing on the Enchantress this time around, still starting out in the jungle, and of course Aggressif, the #1 position, farming up the Spectre as effectively as he can, helped out by MMY back on what is an iconic hero for him at the Lions.
Bottom lane, Zhao 8 taking some early punishment here from Loda, who has gone for a boots first CK. Don't see it all that often, but you know you're going to be against a puck in the off lane. Enchantress has not shown any signs of coming to the lane, and this will allow them to potentially bully Xiao 8, especially at level 1 when he's just got the orb, no phase shift to dodge an incoming stun. They also have to be careful. And there is some kill potential here, albeit not a ton, but if they can keep him out of EXP range, they'll have a decent shot. So it's jungle CM for now. It's actually not the IO helping out the Tiny early on, which we thought might be the case, but jungle CM, IO in the lane, so we'll see how it works out.
And speaking of, CM already up to level 2, about 30 seconds from the 2-minute rune spawn. We'll see how that's going to go. Has picked up a satyr, and I'm referring to September, of course, so you talked at length last game about how genuinely considered OP the early game satyr happens to be, so September will have that to help him secure the rune. Down at bottom, bit of damage being done. Oh, he tried to reality rift him, unable to bring him back after all, and Xiao 8 able to dodge out of a bad situation there.
Yeah, well played. Now that he's got the level 2, it gets a lot harder to kill him. Even if they don't kill him, though, they can still likely farm a lot. Oh, Seth getting caught in the river, though. It's only a level 1 untouchable. This is a squishy Enchantress. But Ake also only has 1 point in the nuke so far, as he has gone for the point of the RB wall. Bottom lane, you can just see Xiao 8 running for dear life. Even with the double damage lure, and Alliance are still going in on him. At top lane, on the Bulldog, and that will be the first one. LGD, they wrangle him down in the trees, so off to a good start here.
Down at bottom, there's a dive on the Xiao 8 as well. Loda's going deep, and he's going to pay the price. That is questionable at best. Diving not only a puck going that deep, but diving him when he's got a double damage room.
Yeah, that was cocky. He did see the whole engagement, but it didn't even look like they were close to
No, he just ran past it. There wasn't anything complicated. Like, the puck jaunted away, and Loda pursued him and ran right past the tower, just wanted to hit him in the face.
He must really not like Xiao 8. That seems nice enough, you know?
Yeah.
You never know, Aaron. You never know.
Well, taking a look at the last hits, 2-0, obviously a big advantage for LGD, and it's piling on a little deeper now as well, with maybe leading the CS chart. He's at 16 to Tiny's meager 8, so doubling him up already at just 3 minutes in, even with someone coming the lane to try to help him out. Not great there, and the Spectre farming at 14 CS compared to the 8 of Loda.
September sneaking around in the river. Smoke is going to break. Bulldog, oh, he's seen it, but I don't think he's getting out of this one. Trap comes out, stun to follow up, clap him, and the dog is down. A quick grab here, a second one in this top lane, and I mean, it's fair to say they're just winning all 3 lanes at this point.
Yeah.
Spectre out-farming the Chaos Knight, mid lane being dominated by Maybe, and then Bulldog dying twice in the off-lane while Xiao 8 has already gotten a solo kill. Yeah, nothing is going well for Alliance in the laning stage.
Yeah, what do you do here, LD? I mean, it's one thing to have things slightly going wrong. You're talking a 2,000 gold deficit shy of 4 minutes in. This is, the status quo cannot remain. You got to do something. What's that next step?
Well, I think the big thing that shouldn't have happened was the death bottom lane. The gank top, the first one was just Bulldog getting caught in the trees and killed off. That happens. The second one was a smoke gank, and it's a commitment just to kill the off laner, which is still worth it for LGD, but it's not like they were just giving it for free. But if you're Alliance, you at least have to stop giving away the freebies. So play a little more cautiously. Use the Hawk to try and scout out unsmoked ganks, and wait. Basically, at this point, with the way the lanes are developed, they're gonna have to wait until S4 gets some levels. Maybe go for a smoke with the Crystal Maiden once Relocate's ready, or if they're able to bring the first Beastmaster Roar into the game. But until they get either Roar or Relocate, I don't really see Alliance putting out too much aggression. This is where Enchantress is scary, and it's why the hero is so strong. Is even if she's just jungling, if she is actually there at the fight, suddenly instead of getting 1 kill, you might give up 2 or 3. So
right.
It's very dangerous for Alliance to go the offense right now.
Well, LGD's going to be hitting their level 6s much quicker than Alliance. In fact, we have our first level 6 on the board. That will be the Death Prophet. The Tiny's the only one even remotely in range there. Even Loda, who has had the run of the show down at bottom, except for that one questionable death, is sitting just at level 4. Now finally hitting his level 5, and the combo potential off of those ultimates is really so high for LGD. Being able to keep the Spectre farming, being able to push with the Death Prophet ult, and then haunt in as you want to engage, and of course Lion, who's level 5 now, that extra little bit of burst. It's going to be so effective against an unfarmed Tiny. As we can see, he's actually sitting at the same CS level as Bulldog has, and we saw how that top lane did not go well. So just like you said, man, a lot going wrong, and I don't see it getting a whole lot better anytime soon. Alliance really going to have to play it tight, and LGD not wanting to let them do so, as we've already got a smoke coming out now as they cross the
and they're going to find EGM. That's a sweet grab. He does have the tether. He's not in range of anyone. He gets hexed right as they walk up the hill. Stun comes through, and Hadouken finishes them off. Well executed gank. A bit unfortunate for EGM, but you know, at this stage, with how important the relocate's going to be, that's actually, after you see a support die, it's like, oh, well, good thing he tanked the gank for the carry. I mean, I think EGM's level 6 is right up there with the Roar, and one of the most important things Alliance needs at this stage.
Oh, I completely agree with you. We saw how integral it was to anything that Alliance wanted to do in terms of initiation and counter-initiation. Now at bottom, you can't let this happen. As LGD just gets a free one, and now he was even caught by the coil, and Tiny making a run for it. S4 using that haster to kind around. EGM's down again. Second death in about 60 seconds, and this has already hit the point of being out of hand. As this is coming up on a 4K gold lead, going to jump to 5 easily once this tower inevitably drops.
They have 4 heroes in the top 5 of net worth, and one of them is the Lion. MMY 2-0 and 3, tower already down. This is probably the worst laning stage I have seen a team had in a long time. They're already down 4,000 gold at 7 minutes, and they're doing it. It's against a Spectre Death Prophet lineup. This is not. I mean, not to say the Death Prophet isn't a decent laner, but it's you're not worried about these heroes like crushing their lanes. You just want them to do okay. Spectre was uncontested, got a really fast level 6. And LGD, it's not just that they had the good start, but they are not letting off the gas. Like, as soon as they see the opportunity, the hot comes out. They don't just get the first kill on the IO, they continue onwards to get a second kill on the CK. They get the aggressive ward up. There is no mercy right now from Xiao8's LGD, and I'm not sure Alliance can change it anytime soon. They need to find small pickoffs, avoid the big fights. There we go on top.
Roll on to aggressive, they smoke this in, Sep comes in, aggressive should end up dropping and will. Xiao8's there, Coil was available but decided not to go ahead and follow through, just didn't have the help of the personnel to really allow him to turn that fight. So finally Alliance makes their way onto the board, they make their way on the board with a good one. Now Sep could be a second kill. Yoda doesn't have any mana left though. And it's a question of, once again, not wanting to commit. Xiao8 hanging back and hanging on to the coil.
And takes over the CK illusion. He'll use that to start farming, turning his own army against him. And S4 will do some dewarding, so Alliance able to get rid of that critical vision for LGD. And that's one thing we haven't talked too much about, and I think probably the biggest reason why we see the Spectre coming out is up until that last pick, LGD did not have a vision hero. They didn't have the Beastmaster. There was discussion about picking Venge as a support. They went for Lion, so then they didn't have a support that gives vision, but the cool thing about Spectre, he's a carry that gives you vision, and that's going to be huge this game. So removing the warriors, that'll at least help. Top lane.
Up, coil spent. Bulldog got caught, tried the TP out. Not $1 million dream coil, but not too bad. At least worth 400 gold or 290 gold as a matter of fact.
Hey, who knows? Maybe this is the game that, you know, gets them on the road to Manila, and then it could be, but for now, at least, not $1 million coil.
Well, the way the prize pool continues to go up here, the $1 million dream coil is actually count.
That's a 9-minute blink on MMY.
Yep. And he's had it for a while. It's a funny thing. I saw it pop up, the notification. He's had it about a minute already.
Even faster. That's brutal.
S4, next on the list. Load is there. Don't know how much help he's going to be able to give him. That blink already paying dividends for MMY. There's a quick swarm to finish it off, and there's going to be a stun on the Xiao8. Ake's moving a little slower in MMY. Yeah, this is fine. 9-1, 10 kills, and only 1 for our boys from Sweden. And as you mentioned, man, aggressive just continuing to fall away.
He's just going to blink away. They can't kill him. Oh, this is ugly. Maybe they can find Xiao8, though. Still doesn't have his own blink. Probably a little jealous of MMY. They are going to die for him. Reality Rift there does get the phase shift off. Then the Hex comes out from the tree line. MMY starts sapping Loda's mana, but not enough for the kill. And they will get the MMY grab as well. It's like they got Sep with the roll behind it as well. Alliance pouring it on, and all of a sudden, looking like they were ready to just wither and die, they spring anew. And now 4-9. Not saying it's going to erase everything, but it's a damn good start. With how early it is, 1 or 2 more good fights like that, it will erase everything. Oh, that's huge. They have relocate online now. The Tiny completing the basics here, has the boots, the bottle, quite likely a blink dagger coming to set up for the mid-game ganks. They get the Beastmaster Roar too. Alliance are going to come online. They're definitely still behind here. It is still LGD's game. but one more good fight like that is really all it takes.
Taking a look at where the items stand, Tiny, pretty broke. He's 0-1-0, only 43 CS at nearly 11 minutes in. We'll see if he wants to go for any kind of an Axe rush, or if he wants to build a Blink and go for that kind of a build. Yet to be determined. CK, in the meantime, has finished his drums. At the very least, just heard a smoke. That will be LGD bringing 3 across the map. We can see it well drawn out for us, courtesy of, looks like the Death Prophet. Maybe drawing that out. Let's see if they're going to find anyone. There are 2 in the vicinity, Loda and
they have one more smoke in the next 11 minutes, so LGD really laid it on thick early. I wouldn't say this one has to work, but it's going to limit their offensive potential if it doesn't by quite a bit. And here they go in the mid lane, aggressive with the Haunted. MOI finds the IO. And it's very AGM.
This was baited by a Navy. Navy baited them initiating into mid. Knowing the gank was coming, well executed. They managed to take down arguably the most important duo on the map right now for Alliance. Using that ult from Navy, they're going to get a free tower too.
Yeah, very crisp play by LGD, but again, very aggressive play as well. We saw this in game 1, that when they felt they had control or an opportunity, they really forced it. Alliance did something similar in game 2, and it seems like the team that makes those confident moves so far has been the one coming out on top this series.
Drums now done on the Death Prophet.
They're relocating. They want maybe. Ghosts are coming back though, and maybe gets the silence off, limiting the damage output. And Alliance on the high ground, dropping the finger. They can kill up BGM here. They will do so. However, Alliance chase forward and aggressive wants to get the hell away. A bold move by Alliance, and it does end up paying off overall.
The fact that Spectre got that kill really does go a long way to mitigate the importance of the kill on the Death Prophet. I mean, obviously trading a core like that for a 5 position, not always optimal, but making sure that goal goes to the hero you want to have it makes a big, big difference and makes it sting just quite a bit less.
Yeah, definitely. The drums are coming soon for the Spectre, and that will be important. We heard a lot of talk about bursting the Death Prophet, but I mean, frankly, against the Tiny, it's about bursting anyone, as well as just dying during the roar. You want to live through the combo, be able to disperse as much damage as possible, and ideally have your team turn the fight around. So getting a cheap item like the drums out might not sound all that exciting or particularly sexy, but it can be the difference maker. I think more importantly for LGD is the Xiaowei Blink Dagger. It's on the way, and they really need it. They do have the Lion Blink, but ideally you want the Puck to start the fight, as if Lion goes in, he's almost certainly dead in most full team fights. Puck can jump in, survive for quite a bit with a phase shift, the silence, and get out, and then you let the Lion follow up. So having the double Blink just gives you more options here, and it's likely coming soon for LGD.
LGD for now, content to just try to hold serve. Keep the tier 2 up, allow aggressive to continue to farm. The drums are going to be out on him very, very soon, as mentioned, and it's going to be the Book build, same build we've seen out of Bulldog pretty consistently now. Book 1, only question will be, does he go Book 3, does he go Blink? I can't imagine he would skip Blink this time. It's going to be so important for him to be able to jump on heroes like that Death Prophet.
Yeah, I think they'll have the double Blink, as S4 appears to be saving for. Generally is the mid-tiny build, but once in a while we do see an Eggs. CK is not the best farmer, so at some point S4 will be likely going back for it, but doesn't seem like quite yet. Yeah,
CK is definitely a hero that prefers to farm heroes as opposed to farm creeps.
I will say I have seen Loda go for a Midas on CK a lot. I think Midas is a bit underrated on him just because he's so incredibly level dependent. Getting the level 3 ult makes a massive difference for his damage output, and he is saving a bit. No, he is going to go Armlet. So Loda feeling like this is not the game for it, and wants to be able to fight early and often, which against the Spectre is definitely not a bad choice. Mid lane though.
Mid lane going to be an engagement. There's the roar to just guarantee the Puck does end up dropping. Will be the Blink picked up by Tiny, and now with these mobility items beginning to show themselves, Chaos Knight finishing his armlet, pretty close to finishing his armlet anyway. Could be about time to really take it to him. However, S4 gonna die behind the fight, so
they're not done yet. They want Ake here as well. Aggressive diving for it, but Ake, the Glimmer Cape comes to the rescue. And meanwhile, bottom lane, Alliance going for the split push. Starting to work on the 2-1 tower. Here we see an LGD rotation. There's no Puck. That's the ideal setup here. The next best one probably would be the Lion, but he's also not in position, so they'll get out cleanly. It looks like they're going to TP away.
So taking a look at overall net worth, CK is keeping it in range, but the DP is certainly on top. Spectre's right there above them. I've been thinking about what you said about the Midas. It does seem a little bit late, but you know, it is something that I can recall him going as well. He does have up the Glove of Haste, of course, for the armlet. So I don't think he's going to go that, but I'm thinking about it more in terms of would that have been the right call? What do you think?
It doesn't really fit the rest of their overall game plan because they have a multi-core lineup, right? You've got Inner Beast, Beastmaster who can do a lot of damage, and you have a Tiny who can scale well with items. The Midas, generally when I've seen it, is when it's like just the CK as the real damage dealer, and it's more of just a one-core lineup. So I don't think it would have been that great this game. It would have been an option, but anyway, that's all past us now as Alliance are on the smoke, but I'm not sure they're going to find LGD. The pings start coming out. The Hawk is moving in. I guess they may scout this Roche, but will they be able to stop it? That's the real question.
Willowwood spread out for the moment, going to have to rotate back through. S4 was smoked heading north along with Ake. Bulldog was there with them. They're going to need really excellent initiation.
Blank. I don't think LGD have seen this. A big combo on 3-4 could set the fight up. They've also got a freezing field. There's a sentry down low.
Oh, they're going to go soon. Nope, too late. And now they're going to go in. Bulldog caught with just a one-man corner. S4's going to engage and immediately burst down MMY. Bulldog kept alive by the Glimmer Cape, and he will be relocated away. So they're happy to just give up what they had to give up, which was the Apex. That's going to be the Haunt, actually, onto Ake, and S4's been spotted as well. There's that vision you were talking about, LD. Sep is right there with him. Aggressive, right there as well. This has turned into a disaster, as they will be able to get some damage done. Can they get the Spectre? They got the Aegis. Loda doing what he can, but tough to engage on an Enchantress with 4 points into Untouchable, and now Aggressive back up off the respawn, trying to do what damage he can, but a lot of damage output coming out of Loda. Xiao 8 is there, and they are able to clean all two up. Oh, how about we make it a full 5-man wipe? 18-7 in the long and drawn-out battle that began in the Roche Pit. It ended just shy of the Tier 2 mid for Alliance. That's a full 5-man wipe. They're going to push the tower as well. And this game has broken wide open once again, LD, in favor of LGD.
That was such a good fight by Alliance, too. That's the crazy part. It really was. I mean, yes, they got the puck opens the fight, but the Beastmaster gets relocated out. They jump the Lion instantly with the Tiny, quickly killing him off. He didn't get to cast a single spell in the fight initially. Spectre gets kind of ignored, focused down. The Ghost also dissipated at the very beginning, so they didn't have to deal with Exorcism. It just shows how far ahead LGD were with the Aegis advantage. That second life of the Spectre made all the difference. Enchantress took forever to try and even bring low, let alone kill off, and then the fight turns around. So I can't even say Alliance played it badly, other than if they wanted to go in the pit, they probably needed to go sooner, but they really wanted the vision first and just weren't able to get it in time. So LGD, Roche often so crucial in these tough games, making the huge difference and really extending their lead.
I'll tell you, I'd have to go back and check the replay because I can't say it with confidence. I think Loda had his armlet done and on the courier. I think he just didn't have it for that fight. And I think if he does, I checked it right before the fight broke out. He definitely had the Helm of Iron Will. I definitely saw the recipe. It's possible he might have been short on the claws of attack, but I have a hard time believing it. I don't know. I'd have to check. But, you know, this calls back. Hang on, hold that thought.
These haunts are just so huge for LGD. Again, it's going to be LGD starting the fight. Ake trying to TP out. Will he make it? A Bodog as well. Maybe they get the double TP. And the Might says, hell no. And he shuts him down. That was a good effort, though. But they do end up losing a Beastmaster. To me, this has been really all about two things. The Enchantress factor early on, and the vision game. And that's where Spectre's so big. Alliance banned it. I'm not sure if they banned it purely for the vision in one of the previous games, but I mean, that to me has really been the story. They're getting the jump every fight. Last game they didn't get the jump once.
There's going to be a relocate down the bottom. Speaking of getting the jump, Aggressive trying to find a way up, using an earn charge on himself. Don't know you're getting home anyway, but the hard way this time, my friend.
They're like, you know what, should we get the IO kill with dispersion? Yes, we should.
Exactly. Why not?
We'll take that. Big kill there, very big.
Well, things are continuing to look good for LGD. And I'm trying to think, I mean, we can see a path back, you know, in for Alliance. Excuse me, drinking the Ukrainian water, giving the hiccups. Anyway,
water, eh?
Hey. But, so anyway, you can see the path back. I mean, Tiny can always transition to a very hard carry. Is that even something they want to explore, though? Or is this something where they just want Tiny to continue on into the late game with this ganking, more mobility-oriented build?
At some point, I'd be really surprised if we don't see an Eggs put on top lane. They're moving on Loda. Drum's getting popped. He doesn't really have any backup. Loda, you can try to arm the toggle with the Spear and Siphon, and then the blast from the Crypt Swarm. Won't have a shot at making out. I don't see CK solo carrying this, so eventually I think you want an Eggs, but it's not going to be a fast one. S4 has been primarily setting up. He gets the drums now completed, so very much focused on being able to fight now, because LGD will fight and farm. They're going to try to have the best of both worlds. You have to strike the same balance for yourselves, you'll get run over.
Well, just found out something in my return to casting. Spirit Siphon's pretty damn good against Armlet heroes. He actually just completely erased any advantage the Armlet had, the Armlet toggle and so on, and the burst damage certainly helps a lot in bursting down those Armlet heroes.
I'll tell you a secret, Barrett. It's pretty good against everything.
It's just an actual pretty good spell in Dota.
Just play a pub against Death Prophet, press that button, and watch the enemy cry.
Press E, you win a prize, got it.
Yeah, it's a really strong spell, and generally the counter to Death Prophet is the burster, so she can't get off multiple siphons, the ult doesn't keep on going.
Right.
But she's far enough ahead that she's likely to live even if you combo her, and that's the scary thing. And to make matters worse, not only has the Yules, now the Octarines coming out, which means the lower cooldown on Exorcism, and more just damage to constantly be available for the team. So things will get a lot trickier for Alliance with this item being complete, and I mean, this is a game with a Spectre and a Death Prophet. Both of these heroes at the top of the net worth chart. Radiant's coming soon for aggressive. As much as Alliance have decent carries in their own right, you do not just want to be... ideally, you do not want to be trading farm, because LGD will come for structures with the Death Prophet ult. Yep. They're going to need to play that spread the map offense, go for the pickoffs. It's just going to come down to vision if they can find them. But against Spectre, that is trickier.
I can tell you what's going to be brutal, man. As bad as Haunt is right now for Alliance to deal with, once the Radiance is up, that's going to take Blink Daggers out of the question. You know,
oh yeah.
Trying to look, you know, you look at Bulldog, you know he wants a Blink at some point. At this point, I don't know though. If they spotted the Radiance, it's almost not worth it. They've already invested that into the Tiny, but if you're the one who's popping the Haunt preemptively to set yourself up, there's no mobility available for Alliance after that. So I don't even know if they want to try to get the Blink on Bulldog.
It's a great way to counter Blink Dagger initiation. We used to see Spectre pick purely for that, more so than for the team fight potential or the damage output. Now she offers a bit more of everything, but it's going to make it where Alliance ideally just has to get lucky as far as the fight goes, or at the Hawk Vision, but won't be easy to find picks. I don't think they feel very confident in their ability to fight right now. When Exorcism is down, that's generally the window, but it's coming up soon. So look for them to split push, to stall, to farm for more items, and to bide their time for good fights. Whereas for LGD, you have Radiance now on Spectre, the Death Prophet ult's online. LGD will be looking to fight.
Yeah, but with the Radiance up now, Spectre's efficiency gonna go through the roof. What do you think next, Manta?
Yeah, Manta's a good choice. Hearts, again, anything that tanks you up against this burst damage is the way to go. So I think one or the other. Diffusal Blade, not terrible this game. I don't think there's anything huge you need to be purging, so I don't think it's something you rush for. But we'll see. I think the safest build is going to be that Vitality Booster, and then you see from there.
Well, looks like they're thinking it through. Maybe a smoke? Not maybe. Definitely a smoke. Oh, maybe.
Led by maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Beat me to it, Jack. Anyway, good catch. Maybe out in front and looking for a target. Nobody home though. Spectre just farming away because that's a hero that needs global mobility. And yeah, looks like they're just going to loop back through and grab the creeps. Good read from Alliance this time, though, when something was up.
Yeah, this is the importance of the wards and the Hawk. You can see the Hawk revealing there's nobody off in the towards the Radiant neutrals, and there's nobody up near the Dire Ancient. So with that bottom lane pushing and nobody coming to defend it or farm it, with the position LGD have, it's quite likely they are smoked. Like you said, great read by Alliance. They'll play it safe, back off. But for LGD, it's not like they need that gank to work, it's just a great bonus if they do. So they'll back off to farming, and Alliance, they're waiting for mistakes. It's kind of like the game one situation LGD was in. Not with a timer for LGD per se, but more with them really looking for a mistake from the opposition. But we're not seeing any big mistakes just yet.
LGD going to be benefiting from spotting Roche first, one would imagine. They checked it just before it spawned, didn't see it. By the way, it was a Blink Dagger pickup for Bulldog as well, so not worried, as worried about the Radiance as we seem to be. We'll see if it's going to end up paying off. I mean, it's still going to be a great item. It's just its efficacy and it's the return on investment in major 5-on-5s that are started by the Spectre certainly going to be in question.
I actually went for the Tranquil boots here, so Bulldog just looking for that bit of extra armor, but I imagine at this point just goes back for the Necro 3. We're not going to see the fast boots of travel though. LGD pushing in bottom now. Octarine's nearly done for maybe, but I don't know if they'll hold the Exorcism. For now they're just chipping away at the tower. Spectre always basically here, for the time being not technically, but he'll be coming soon, and Guardian Greaves out for Sep, so it is just going to get harder and harder to find LGD. They're getting tankier, they're getting more heals, and they're getting more just defensive items, and that's really all LGD needs. They have the damage. They just need to live long enough to dish it out.
Enchantress picking up set of the Guardian Greaves, so the team fight items just continue to pour out one by one for LGD, and tell you what's pretty good team fight items in Aegis as well, and now that's going to be perhaps next in the queue as the Roche is spotted. See it being pinged out. Is this something you think Alliance can even effectively challenge at this stage?
Oh god, no. Yeah, not a doubt. And certainly not while the Exorcism is going, so whether Alliance knew or not, I don't think there's any way they go into it. That's why they're more aggressively pushing the top lane, kind of expecting this Roshan attempt anyway. They'll try to get their next items. Loda, up 3,000 gold. I think just going for the Mansa style now. Yeah, it does buy the recipe. That'll be coming soon. But yeah, on the side of LGD, Aegis up. They'll be looking for objectives. TP coming in top. There's the hot end. The quickly locate on MMY. Almost there with the stun. Could have gotten two. Crystal made a little TP away, but they are sacking EGM, and there will be no contest. Loda just going to march away. Trying for the TP back timing, and he gets it!
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, EGM, what a god! Dodging away, basically pulled himself out by his bootstraps from the abyss.
Absolutely gorgeous play, and Alliance able to keep one more off the board, even though the poor little Hawk does pay the price here.
LGD just sitting there scratching their heads like, I thought the IO was coming back.
There's always been so many weird little things with the relocate and ways you can avoid it. I can remember.
If anyone's going to know them, EGM has to be right at the top of that list. I have not seen that
in no tail
forever, actually, to be honest. I didn't even know you could do that right now, but man, EGM made it look easy.
Almost like he meant to do it.
No, he was just figured he'd try, you know, not a big match or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Not a lot on the line, potentially an invite to the next major. It's K though. LGD has the same thing on their mind as well, as they are ready to get something out of this Aegis. Would have been nice if the IO had been forced to buy back or had been killed. Not that it's going to matter, and this is what I really want to see here. I really want to see this Haunt put to the test, and then really trying to get Alliance stuck on their back heels. Just make it hard for them to move and make it hard for them to engage.
They do have an Exorcism here, but it seems they don't want to just freely give up towers. TP's coming to the top lane, maybe there. Again, the relocate. Can he do it again, EGM?
Keep an eye on him.
Clock's ticking, and the TP begins. Is the timing right? Nope, not right. See ya. Second time, not the charm, but hey, he did it once. That's good enough for me.
And see, that's the funny thing. Whenever it goes well, it makes the whole crowd cheer. Whenever it goes poorly, it's collective laughter.
You could hear the whole room just erupt. They're like, what? Whoa, yeah. That's sick. But
as it stands, that time around, it's just a death to cost an extra 75 gold.
I mean, that is a risk that Alliance have to take.
Oh, yeah.
Even if the CK dies, I think they're aware that is a possibility, and it's still worth it to prevent this LGD push that's coming. But LGD now, knowing the IO's dead for 8 seconds, knowing just as importantly there is no relocate, they're going to push down mid. They're looking for potentially this first lane of racks, and it's going to be hard for Alliance to hold. They're not really the best high ground defense lineup. Much more about single target pickoff and offense for this team, but it's defense they're being forced to commit to here. Spectre holding the top lane, Aegis still online, and now a Yasha to go with it. 2 minutes on that Aegis, Aaron. Can Alliance pull off the miracle?
I mean, they're doing a good job delaying, but now there's the commitment. Like you said, 2 minutes on the Aegis, waiting on the Haunt. Bulldog with his Blink Dagger ready, as his S4. S4 jumps in, there we go. There's going to be a one-man corner, BKB. There's going to be the Haunt to follow it up. Immediately on the EGM, never had a chance, and it's an absolute cluster of illusions behind the fight. The Radiance Burn is doing its job, though, as LGD forcing Alliance back off their own tier 3s. Now we're going to turn and fight. There's that Enchantress damage, and boom, impetus from downtown brings Loda down. He's going to be forced to buy back. Axes are there, hits 2. That's going to be the Aegis. Maybe, though, using that Spirit Siphon, and now engaged upon by Loda, uses the Phantasm, wants to get out, get that damage. MMY able to blink himself to safety, and Aggressive able to skirt himself to safety as well. So a costly defense, but an effective one nonetheless for Alliance, as this game is going to continue. But actually, MMY has Finger if you want to think about using it. Oh, it is! Yes, it's a dieback! That's going to be 3 heroes down, 4 counting the dieback for Alliance. They hold, they get 3, and most importantly, the Aegis is finally gone, but like you said, Aaron, very costly defense. Pyrrhic, one might even say, for those fans of your Roman history. And S4 looking to make it a little less painful, a little more painful for our boy Aggressive. And he's going to be, it's actually going to be a coil to turn this around. Did not get pulled back with it. BKB's going to be used. There's the roar, and now here comes Loda. Loda yules up into the air. S4 eating a lot of damage. They do get Aggressive, but they also trade the Tiny. Now Loda in a lot of trouble, down to half health, trying to toggle his way to safety. Has the drum charge, will use it, was his last one. Trying to make a run, and let's see. Yep, Blink's going to be up in 2, 1. Jump ahead. Is anyone else going to be able to catch him soon enough? He's going to be able to jump ahead of him. IOTP top coming in, relocates ready, and here we go. EGM looking for the big bailout for his buddy Loda making a turn. On to Seppa, the stuns there, trying to focus him down. MMY to the rescue perhaps, but doesn't have the figure. Can they finish him off? EGM, a third death in about as many minutes. Costly, and Loda is next to score all day. Brutal, and Xiao 8 picking up the Dagon. Don't know if it's a man or Dagon or a I just want to hit you harder Dagon. Either way. Never armlet toggle near me again, you bastard Dagon. That's what that is. So a man or Dagon's what I'm hearing. I think a pretty bad manner. Well, no, it's very effective. And I mean, the key to this game for me is that they have answers to the IO. It's not just the haunt, it's the puck as well, and I think that's why we saw them go for it. This is an initiator that can cleanly jump an IO and has heavy burst damage. 3 nukes, very easy to hit most of them with a blink, and then for good measure now you've got a Dagon, so they can just basically haunt, blink on him, and he's dead. And without an IO, Alliance's lineup is suddenly way less scary. It is amazing how integral this quiet little 0, 11, and 7 IO has been in this game to Alliance's successes, and the lack of the IO being integral to the failures. And with the racks down now, LGD looks to be in a great position. Alliance knows it, says, all right, we cannot sit back. We cannot allow the Spectre to farm freely anymore. It's just going to get worse. Let's smoke. Let's hope we can catch someone napping. That's a pretty bold smoke considering the buybacks that are on cooldown here. 3 for 4 minutes. But down a lane of racks up against an incredibly potent late game lineup. We haven't even talked about Enchantress, but should it go late? Sept 5-1 and 16. If he gets an Aghanim Scepter to go with the Dragonlance, he can just out carry a Tiny potentially. Untouchable is a great way to deal with them. A second ago in the jungle. Yeah, sure you've got a BKB. If you do focus the Enchantress, you can kill her, but then you're ignoring the other cores, and they're just going to run all over you. So it's Alliance getting crushed between a rock and a hard place. They just blew the smoke. Didn't work out. It's pretty much desperation mode for them at this point. Well, we'll see what they're up to. Loda's going to find an Illusion Rune. Not a bad rune to find if you're a Chaos Knight. Not awesome if you're not looking to fight, though. And I can foresee LGD just playing this ultra patient, holding out for another Roshan if they want. I don't know if they need to. I mean, their lead at this point is nigh on insurmountable. We're talking 15K, 12K, gold, and experience respectively. And like you said, the itemization is just there. I mean, there's always something more they can get. MMY even grabbing up a Ghost Scepter. They're ready to go fight. They're ready to close this out and ready for the winner's bracket fight. Well, Alliance are ready to fight them, but Xiao 8 is the high ground position, and he's going to look to break that break. Avalanche toss, here we go. And MMY going to be the first to drop. They're going to try to turn this around. The BKBs are going to be going off soon. MMY did manage to make it away with thanks to that Ghost Scepter. Bulldog's right there behind. There's going to be a coil that catches a couple, but MMY just managed to get the finger off on the S4, but suddenly LGD able to turn this around despite losing MMY. It was a valiant effort from Alliance, but ultimately LGD just too much damage, too much health, too much to handle for the boys from Sweden, and now they're going to go to work on the remaining tier 3s. This one looks to be in its waning moments.
We are seeing a tier 1 team coalesce before our very eyes. LGD, little reason to have faith in this team coming into the event as far as actual results and performance goes, but you just look at the roster and you have to think this is a team that should not only be competing with other tier 1 teams, but potentially dominating them. Alliance right now, all but out of it at this point. Another team fight essentially wiped out, most of their cores getting slaughtered, and that was a pretty good initiation by Alliance. 2 hero avalanche toss, but they're just so far behind. They don't match up that well because the IO is a non-factor. Crystal Maiden is a support that doesn't scale in the vast majority of games, and certainly isn't getting away from LGD in this one. The only hero that can really kill is Lion, and hell, it took forever just to try and kill him, and by the time they did, he had used the Finger, the Hex, the Impale, and the Death Prophet, and Spectre just been cleaning up. So LGD morphing, getting stronger game by game. I can only imagine where this team's going to be if they keep this up in a month or 2. We could be seeing a team that's going deep at the Manila Major at this rate.
I mean, is this really surprising when you look at these heroes? I mean, when you look at these players, rather, when you look at Zhao 8, names like Maybe right there beside him. Sep, of course, not quite on that level, but he and Aggressive, heroes that have, players that have earned reputations that grant them this superstar status, and of course MMY. These super teams from China can be a little hit and miss, but
one last
seems to be hitting well. And here we go. Okay, Kog is going to be the haunt. S4 comes in, giving him the ride as best he can, but maybe just feels immortal at this point. Loda coming right out. There's going to be a roar from Bulldog. Just not going to matter. EGM Hex fingered and Loda killed before he can even sacrifice himself to the god of the pit. GG! Alliance loses the series 1-2. They'll be falling to the lower bracket in the meantime. Use your word, man. Coalesce, LGD, bringing it together and punching their ticket to the winner's bracket final.
LGD had a game plan for the Alliance IO, and Alliance, they didn't see it coming. Nope. The Enchantress for the lane dominance, the Death Prophet is a hero who can tank up and survive the burst, and most importantly, I think the key pick of the draft, it was the Spectre and the Puck. Those two together made EGM's game miserable. He died 13 times by the end, and you can't even say